watching Healthsight and this is Mini Divan. Today we are going to talk about science behind cosmetology, facial surgeries and hair therapies. And for that, we have with us in house today Dr. Debraj Shom, Senior Cosmetic Surgeon, Director of Aesthetic Clinic, super specialized in facial plastic surgeries and of course cosmetic surgeries and hair transplants as well. So welcome to our channel, Debraj. How are you doing? Please tell us something about yourself.
Thank you, Minnie, for having me here. And my name is Debraj Shom. To all the listeners on this particular channel, we run a chain of clinics called the Aesthetic Clinics, which is now in 10 cities in India.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you on board. So I think let's begin with, the first thing first. So whenever we listen to, cosmetology or facial surgeries, Botox, fillers, I think there has been a lot of talks and misconception about this. So let's, clear them today. Let's, burst all the myths. So firstly, let's start, by telling us, should we fear plastic surgeries or facial surgeries? Should we fear them?
I don't think so. The truth of the matter is there has probably never been another time in human history when plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery were as predictable as they are today. If Minnie is 15 years old right now and she wants to remain 15 all her life, she has the choice to literally do that. So everyone, as I tell my patients, everyone has a choice to literally look 25 all through their lives today. Even the cine stars and all the massive heroines of yesteryears, even at 65s and 70s, which is their chronological age, no one can tell that their facial age is anything more than 35 or 40 years. So the technology is there for everyone to look young all their life. The choice is whether someone wants to take it or not.
That's true. So could you elaborate a little about, facial surgeries? What's the procedure exactly? What are the methods? Because I think there are different methods for different requirements, right?
In facial surgery, the important thing about the face is sab kuch dikhta hai, everything can be seen. And because everything can be seen, every mark, every suture, every scar that you have will cause either a beneficial thing or it will cause a problem. So therefore, facial surgery, people are extremely queasy about going for facial surgery to anyone on the planet.
So just for our understanding, could you break down and tell us what's the basic difference between a Botox and fillers? And how are the procedures different?
So Botox was what actually spawned off many years ago the field of facial aesthetics. And botulinum toxin, I won't use the name Botox because Botox is the brand name. But botulinum toxin, which is the generic name, botulinum toxin was actually first utilized for treating neuromuscular disorders, like men and women who had spasms in the eyelids. So after that, when this was used, we by serendipity, plastic and cosmetic surgeons discovered that ultimately this was also causing removal or amelioration of the wrinkles on the face. And that is how the entire branch of using Botox for facial aesthetics spawned off. Now, Botox and fillers are as different as chalk and cheese. So Botox is a neuromuscular relaxant, which is utilized for removing the lines of the face. Fillers are more for contouring. So if someone wants a better looking chin, or someone wants better looking lips, someone wants fuller, more voluptuous lips, someone wants a nose which is better, you can do all of that with fillers. So fillers is more artwork. Botox is probably reducing the action of the muscles and thereby reducing the wrinkles on the face.
Got it. Okay. So, is there any particular age criteria when it comes to both these procedures that, beyond this age or prior to this age, you will recommend that you shouldn't go for any fittings or procedures?
Cosmetic surgery typically, needs to be done in people who are at least above the age of 18. Because people need to be able to decide for themselves. And you need to be an adult to make a decision. So I am very queasy about trying to offer cosmetic surgery to people who are less than 18. However, sometimes what happens is there are also functional issues. So if someone has a very, very crooked nose and they are not able to breathe, you can't wait for them to turn 18 and you might have to operate earlier. But in that case, we need parental consent and so on and so forth. So the simple answer to that is, if it is purely for cosmetic surgery and purely for looking good, why not wait till you're 18? I mean, average life expectancy today is 85 years. So even if you do it at 18, you still have 67 years more to look good.
So how many sittings are required and how long does it last? Is there a particular time limit, maybe a year or something, after which you have to get yourself refilled? Is there something like that exists?
Typically all non-surgical facial rejuvenation, whether that's the Botox, whether that's the fillers, whether that's the non-surgical facelift like the Altheras or the other threads, typically most of them last for about 2 years. Botox, of course, is different. Botox, the effect wears off in 3 to 6 months. But the rest of it typically, lasts for about 2 years approximately. So in 2 years' time, you'll be 2 years older, and therefore you will come back to where you started from. And therefore, it's a good thing to have the repeats done every couple of years or so.
Okay. And are there any side effects of these procedures?
Well, truthfully speaking, nothing is without side effects, right? I mean, I always turn around and say that the oxygen that we breathe causes oxidization of our cells, ultimately leads to cellular aging, and ultimately makes us old and causes us to die. But just because oxygen has a side effect doesn't necessarily mean that we can give up breathing oxygen, correct? Yeah. So as a result of which, the simple thing is that there will be certain side effects, but in trained hands, in good hands, it's very safe. I mean, the risk is literally less than 0.05%. So I don't think we should be really concerned about those side effects much.
Also, let's talk about what are the average costs of, such procedures and surgeries.
Depends really, So for instance, if someone comes in for a simple lip augmentation, the charges may be as little as 20 or 25,000 rupees. But if someone comes in for a complex rhinoplasty where the nose has a lot of problems and it needs a 4-hour surgery, cost could even go to 1.5 or 2 lakh rupees. It really depends. It depends on patients and it depends on what we are trying to solve from that perspective.
Oh, that's great. And what are the success rate of such surgeries? What is the current success rate that's going on?
Probably 99.9%.
99.9%. Wow, that's amazing.
So the thing is, see, one thing you have to understand, it depends on what we quantify as success. Yeah. If success is, I started by saying that some people may not be happy no matter what you do, right? Yeah. A better nose or better lips won't make someone happier. If someone's a happy person, they'll be happy even with the not so perfect nose. And if someone is not such a happy person, giving them the perfect nose is not going to change their personality type. So in general, if you discount patients who have unrealistic expectations, these are very safe, very predictable procedures and people are really, really happy post.
That's great. So thank you so much, Dr. Debraj. I think this has been so informative. We have had some wonderful insights from you today, and I think our audience would be going back home after listening to this session with lots and lots of wonderful information and value addition. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Minnie. Thank you for speaking to me today, and thank you for being such a pleasant host and making me feel so welcome. And thank you to the entire HealthSight team and to Z. Love you all. Stay safe and take care of yourself. Bye.
Thank you so much. Stay safe and take care. Thank you.